Victor Webmanyama was taking a quick breather on the bench, but Chet Holmgren checked in. So Wemby jumped out of his chair, ran to go in, but was stopped by the ref. You could see the frustration on his face. He didn't want to miss a play against his rival. So the minute he got in, Wemby dunked all over Chet and stared him down. Why is he so angry? Because Wemby saw his huge lead for Rookie of the Year get stolen by Chet Holmgren. Wemby started as the biggest favorite since Kevin Durant in 2007, but in November his lead collapsed and Chet took over. But recently, the race flipped again and Wemby is on top. If this continues, things are looking bad for Chet Holmgren. Something happened right here that could end this race once and for all. Now, a lot of people think that Chet doesn't even deserve Rookie of the Year because he sat out a whole season. Well, sorry, that's not how it works. Both guys can win, but you can tell how much that season off helped. How many rookies, let alone 7-footers, can make a clutch play like this?
Holmgren, the turnaround shot to tie it, and Chet Holmgren!
That was just his 13th NBA game. Chet immediately completed a young OKC team as a rim-protecting three-point shooting big. He is good off the ball with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey, but comfortable on the ball, driving or shooting threes, a true unicorn. But the thing that separates Chet is his efficiency. Chet dominates despite sharing the court with talented teammates. All that, plus his defensive impact, he is the second best player on the best team in the West. So Chet's stock went straight up, and at the same time, Wemby's collapsed. While Chet's got guys like SGA to create for him, Wemby had Jeremy Sochan, who has never played point guard in his life, including high school. The thinking was Sochan has point guard instincts. Like Draymond, he's a good connector, makes the smart pass. So at 6'8", if you could turn him into a legit point guard, it would be perfect for the modern super tall NBA. One problem, he sucked at point guard. Sochan had tunnel vision and routinely missed open passes to Wembanyama. The roster was virtually the same team that won 22 games last year, last in the West. The result? Hurt Wemby's production. Bad efficiency, high turnovers. So the Spurs set a team record for 18 losses in a row, and in late November, Chet officially passed Wemby up. People stopped paying attention to the Spurs, said Greg Popovich was ruining the #1 pick. Then quietly, he made a change that flipped the narrative. Of course, you know this already if you listen to the AM Hoops podcast or you're in the Discord, but here's what happened. Wemby debuted as the tallest player in the NBA, but didn't want to play center. It goes back to a 2019 showcase he played in France. I had literally zero responsibility, never had the ball. The coach played me at center. I was really frustrated and I knew it wasn't going to go well, so it didn't. And luckily, the Spurs didn't want him at center either. A lot of modern big men, like Anthony Davis, hate the position because of the physical grind, so Wemby was a forward in Summer League, and Zach Collins started the year at center. That is when Chet took over Rookie of the Year. But on December 8th, everything changed. Pop moved Wemby to center, and he dropped 21 points, 20 boards, and 4 blocks against the Bulls. At the same time, Sochan was moved off point guard, and Trey Jones got the job. Now, instead of settling for inefficient mid-range jumpers, Wemby was getting quality shots, scoring at the rim and catching even more lobs at the basket. But the first time we really saw Wemby was at 16 years old, scoring this jumper over Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert. And that was cute, taking it easy on his fellow Frenchman. But as a center in the NBA, Vic just scored on Gobert like no one else can in a win. Who else can get up like this over an outstretched 7'1" guy? But somehow his defense has improved too. Ja Morant played just 9 games this year and had the perfect opportunity to embarrass Wemby like he has so many other bigs. So he beats him here with a crossover, but still gets blocked. No one can actually beat Wemby with that length. Giannis has 40 pounds on Vic, so he muscles him at the basket, but he puts a paw up and stuffs the Greek freak. But this is the craziest play. He blocks 2 players at the rim like a kid on a playground. But look at this replay. He is turned around, can't even see the ball he's about to block. So not only is he leading the NBA in blocks, but steals plus blocks too. Way ahead of number 2 Anthony Davis. Of course, Chet Holmgren is in there too, but center Wemby is already in the running for Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie. And for people who say, oh, well, Joel Embiid scored 70 against him, no. Only 16 of those points came with Wemby guarding. So compared to power forward Wemby, center Wemby is better across the board. Not just counting stats like points, boards, and assists. His efficiency skyrockets. And it's about to get scarier. Wemby injured his ankle about a month ago and has been limited to about 24 minutes a game. Now imagine what he can do playing a normal 30 plus minutes a night. If his numbers skyrocket, this race is over. It may not seem fair because Chet's playing so well on a winning team, but ask yourself, if you put Wemby on OKC, would they be even better? This isn't what I think. This is what the odds are telling us. So he's back on top, and a big reason why was the statement he made against Chet Holmgren on national TV. Vic was on a mission to show people Chet is not in his universe. Wemby looked to score every time he matched up with Chet. Vic took just 3 triples so he could punish him in the post. Watch Vic slam on Chet's head and stare him down, but Chet refuses to react. In fact, it looked like Chet was hunting mismatches while Wemby was hunting Chet. The craziest moment, Vic trying to aggressively embarrass him. Even though that was a miss, you could tell this was personal. When matched up with each other, Chet was just 2 for 4 with Wemby defending. Vic, 7 for 15 against Chet. And it's not just the highlights or the stats, it's Vic's internal fire that guys like Kobe or Michael Jordan had. It's what keeps players like Ben Simmons from taking their talent to the highest level. So the very next day, even though the Spurs lost, Wemby retook the lead for Rookie of the Year. Didn't matter that OKC won. Wemby won the matchup. The race has completely changed since Vic has moved to center. And if this continues, there is no way he loses the award. However, there's a chance that both guys win Rookie of the Year. I know it sounds crazy, but in the last 30 years, it has happened twice. In 1995, they gave Rookie of the Year to both Jason Kidd and Grant Hill. Then in 2000, Steve Francis and Elton Brand. Those races were so close, they finished tied for votes. Since then, the NBA has changed to a point system, so even though it's more unlikely, it could still happen. So Wemby has the edge right now for a reason, even though his team is losing. And it looks like he'll win the award unless there's some injury. Tell me what you think in the comments, but how crazy would this team look like with Trae Young on it? There are rumors that Trae actually wants to be in San Antonio. I know it sounds impossible, but there is a good reason to believe that rumor is actually 100% legit.